welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing assumptions y'all had about high schoolers and what the general population kind of thinks about high schoolers. Yesterday I talked about high school and answered some of y'all's questions about that, and now I am doing assumptions about high schoolers. I hope you enjoy. If you do, give it a big thumbs up. This is for the general population, assumptions, and the first one is high school is overwhelming for kids and parents. Overwhelming for the students, but not really the parents. I mean, academically, probably not. Most high schoolers are on top of their grades, I would say. That's another assumption I want to get to. But the assumption, I think it's more of parenting that's hard for parents, I guess. Personal versus academic, I think parents struggle in the personal area, connecting with their teenager, and then, I don't know, I'm not a parent, but I think academically, I know there are some kids that aren't on top of their grades, but for the most part, that's that. And that flows into the second assumption, that all high school students they slack off and they fail. Okay, this is not true. Okay, I think that is the biggest assumption. That was the biggest assumption for me, is that, oh, I'm gonna fail, I'm going into high school, all my grades count. But I have not heard once about my GPA. I haven't heard once about my GPA with my parents. My parents haven't ever brought it up. I also think for me, bringing up my GPA is just gonna freak me out more, but I am a good student, or at least I feel like I'm a good student across the board, but there's always that exception, right? So the next assumption is that independence is a huge thing. And then they said, aren't 9th graders supposed to make their own decisions if they haven't already started doing that? That assumption is true, but I also think that even though you have that level of responsibility now, that level of independence that you're taking on, you still have that thing in the back of your head. I don't know, you've always been told as a child that every action has a reaction, and that reaction is either good or bad consequences. So everything you do maybe benefit you or maybe not. So that's where choices come in. So that, I think that's an accurate assumption. Is stress too hard to manage in high school? There's so much academic pressure, by Mary. And then she also added, the anxiety of expectations is extremely high and unknowns are so high. I don't really know what she's trying to say here, but I guess anxiety, yes, does come. I think we have seen a higher rate of anxiety and sadness and all that stuff. I think putting all that pressure on a kid is hard, and they feel like they're expected to do everything perfectly, which I used to think that, and then I was like, I'm not perfect, I can't do this. But yes, I think your stress levels can go up depending on if you are better at dealing with stress or not. It's just different for each person. Thank you for asking that. Okay, these are the questions y'all asked. So I don't think I'm gonna say y'all's names. I'll make this plural. Do kids beat other kids up? Do they stand up for themselves? I know upperclassmen can be a little bit rough sometimes, rough up the guys, but personally, as a girl, I think the most toxic thing is drama and gossip. I think that's a huge thing. Okay, the next one, do high schoolers try to do new things, or are they too afraid? I feel like they would be too afraid. yes and no. I feel like as a freshman, you feel very incapable. You feel like I can't make these decisions, but you honestly can. You have that level of freedom that we talked about, so you are able to make those decisions. So yeah. Do all high school people date? Okay, that is or like it was saying all high school people date. That's an assumption. Okay, that assumption false, 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 false. That assumption is wrong because not everyone wants to be in a relationship, and also too, people just relationships don't work. They just don't unless you find the match, the perfect match somehow. I don't know, but at this age, we're just so dumb. Are there gangs? Okay, I don't think so. I no. No, I'm just gonna go with no. Unless you go to like I don't know. I don't know where there will be gangs. I don't know that stuff. Do high schoolers have great advice to give to us? I think this is from like a middle school maybe. There's another one. Do kids give good advice at high school? Okay, I think me personally, I would give great advice too. But if someone were to come up and ask me about high school, yeah, I would be very open to talk about it with them. Make sure they feel comfortable with it, answer all their questions. Yeah, I would love to do that. And then the last question, or the last assumption I'm gonna answer is, do all high school kids party? Do they go to dances, football games, are all cheerleaders, and do they all watch TV all the time? Okay, the last part is true. We all watch TV all the time. Netflix is our home. But everything else, I don't think, I know, like, a lot of people live it up and go to parties and all that stuff, but not everyone's like that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If y'all want me to do another video about high school or anything else, I would love to answer those questions. Bye, guys.